guys, it is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. Got a great one from Stone Temple Pilots debut today. We're going to how to do Dead and Bloated. So this one's got some interesting riffs in it and just a lot of really cool stuff in it. We're going to work our way throughout the entire song. Shouldn't be overly difficult. Now, before I do it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell. Watch the videos. That helps a lot. And, you know, comment on them if you want. Now, if you really want to support what I do over here on YouTube, you need to join my Guitar Academy, because that's how supports all of this stuff. So you'll see a link to that in the description below. It'll give you a free 7-day trial if you've never actually had a subscription as well. But more importantly, it's a YouTube only link, so it gives you 40% off my annual subscription. That's a price you're not going to see on my actual website, so you got to click through from there. But you'll get full access immediately to all of my courses, personalized support from me, access to my weekly live streams with Academy members. So come and join us. All right, now let's jump into the track. We are in standard tuning, so nothing new there. So this one was written by Robert and Scott, but obviously Dean's playing the guitar. And we have this main riff here, which is kind of an interesting feel to it. So not like your average like rhythm. It's like things don't like kind of fall in the same spot every time. So now we're going to start here with this kind of it's a D power chord. You're going to be playing the 5th fret across the low E and the A, and then you'll be playing the 7th fret on the D and the 7th fret on the G. So it's a D power chord with A in the bass. So. And then we have this. So what he's doing, that little move there, he's playing the 5th fret across the A and the D, all right? So you can go ahead and have that bar. Now in front of that, on the 6th fret on the D string, you're gonna play that. So it starts with like a tritone. So we still have that 5th fret there on the A string. With the 6th fret on the D, pull off to 5. So now it's 5 across both strings. Then slide it down to the 3rd fret for the A and the D. So we have this. Then you're going to go back up to the 5th fret on the A and the D. Pull off to the 3rd fret there on the A and the D. Then go over to the 5th fret on the low E and the A string together. So we have this. And then you do that again. So you're just gonna repeat that part of the riff. So far. Then you go back and grab that D power chord with A in the bass twice again. And then we get to kind of the second half of it. So that part starts the same. So that kind of pull off from 6 to 5 there on the D with the 5th fret on the A string. Slide down to that 3 again, but when you go up to here, play the 5th fret on the A and the D, kind of hold them with some vibrato. Then you do that again. And then you end it kind of like the way we did originally. So that's a now pull off from 5 to 3. Over to the 5th fret on the low E and the A. So all together. So that's the full riff, and then you just repeat everything from there. from there we get to the 52-second mark of the song. We get to the part where I just kind of consider this the chorus. It looks like this. All right, so that's gonna start here with a B sus2 chord with F sharp. Once again, the 5th is in the bass for this chord. So all it really is it's the 2nd fret barred across all 6 strings, and then in front of that you'll have the 4th fret on the G string and the 4th fret on the D. From there we go to that kind of that common, that first day of guitar, G major. And then we go to an E major. And then here he has this quick, it's kind of hard to pick up on the recording. Hear that little dun. So that kind of thing going on there. But it's kind of, you play the E chord, and then what you're gonna do is kind of doing some kind of downstroke, kind of muted hits. And you just hit the open A and open D, and hammer back onto that 2nd fret on the A and the D. So we have this. So he's kind of hitting some full E major every once in a while. So you kind of hear that. And then it's repeat. All right, now at the 1 minute and 22-second mark, we have this riff that kind of takes us back to the main riff. So it's kind of like a transition riff. Now there's 2 distinct parts going here. There's this clean little chorusy thing that's on top that's kind of doing this kind of, I don't have a clean sound, and kind of adding these like shimmer on top. And then you have the underneath. So Dean, when he plays it live, he puts those 2 things together. All right, so that's how I'm going to do it here. They're obviously originally recorded on 2 separate guitars, but if you put it all together, which sounds fine, it's just not this clean shimmer. It's a really distorted shimmer. Sounds like this. All right, so it's pretty simple. We're gonna start with this, it's based off around this F sharp here. So let's go ahead and put these fingers down. 2nd fret there on the low E, 4th on the A, 4th on the D, 3rd on the G, open B, and open a high E string. So when you're going into that chord, you're gonna first have that index finger off the low E string. So pick the open, low E string, and then lower that 2nd fret there. So this. So it goes 1, it's a 0, 2, 2, 0, 2. And you kind of, when you're doing that, you're kind of hitting just palm muting the bottom 3 strings and picking just across those 3. And then when that little clean shimmer comes in, you're going to be hitting the top 3 strings, which obviously you're holding the 3rd fret here on the G, and then the open B and the open high E. And he hits them with 2 upstrokes. So he goes. Try to let them ring. And then the 4th time through, just kind of build up, you release the palm on me. And just kind of build that riff out without doing those higher notes. And then it gets back to the main riff. It's an interesting riff. I read that like Robert, who wrote this with Scott, said Scott didn't play guitar, but he just kind of hummed that riff to him, and he figured it out. So it's kind of written by Scott, but figured out by Robert, I guess. So after that, we'll go for the main riff, and then back through the same chorus, and then back into the... So it kind of repeats everything we had done before. All right, so then at the 2-minute and 48-second mark, we have, I'm going to consider this the bridge. And you're going to hear this one a couple of times. Now, this section actually has some slide guitar kind of fill overdubs, which I'm not going to cover those. I am not the guy you want to learn slide guitar from anyway. But really, we're going to stick with the main part that's played here, you know, what Dean would actually do live. So it looks like this. All right, so that's played twice the first time you heard it in the song, and then later on the song is played 4 times. So we're gonna start here with a power chord at the 7th fret off the low E string. So 7th fret on the low E, and then 9th fret there on the A. Then just take that note on the low E string down to the 6th fret. Keep in that 9th fret there on the A string. Then you're gonna move down, 5th fret there on the low E, 7 on the A, and do the same thing there. You drop the low note, the bass note down a half step. So we have this. Then we're gonna go, so that just goes the standard power chord here at the 3rd fret of the low E string, up to 5, back to 3, then the open. I can kind of do it with slots or picking one. And then he does this. So he's kind of sliding into that 3rd fret power chord, the low E string, to E major. So all together. Repeat. All right, so after that bridge, we have kind of a variation on that little. Instead of doing it, that never happens anymore for the remainder of the song. So this kind of transition riff that takes us back to the main rhythm again. Just call it a transition riff or whatever. It's just kind of that straight 0, 2, 2, 0. So don't do anything on top, just the power chord underneath. So that's one time through. Then, so you're actually going to hear when at the very last hit in the measure when it starts the riff over is the open E string, and then it's going to start with the open E. So just right there, you're going to hear 2 open E's in a row where it's starting over at the halfway point. So if you look like this, it's always one hit leading up to that. So 1, 1, 1, 1. It's right there. Couple hits. So it's the last note of the phrase and the first note of repeating it. So it just plays it twice here, and the second half of it, basically on the repeat, he starts releasing that palm muting and kind of opening up a little bit, letting them ring out. So it's so from there, we're back to the main riff again, and then into that same bridge. But that bridge towards the end of the song is played twice as long, so it's 4 times playing through that riff instead of just twice. And then we're back to that little riff variation that we did before, and kind of the variation of that riff. All right, and then just ends the song here with the main riff played twice, and gonna end. Got a couple hits there. It looks like this. And that is it for Dead and Bloated. It's a fun one to play, got some cool riffs in it, and but not overly difficult to play, so I hope you'll be able to get through it pretty quickly. All right, I'll see you guys again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.